champion. A motherfucking champion. I ain't never fold, ain't never ran, I ain't 50 stand. Held my head high, I swear to God, I did the time. Never drove a bitch, I swear to God, I've been fly.
There we go.
Hey, yo, man, y'all already know what it is, man. It's that life in the pen, hashtag prison talk, hashtag in and out. I'm from that 7-1 half a dozen. I'm from that 7-1 with the devil on the end. Y'all already know where I'm from. I'm from Buffalo. Hey, yo, listen, man. We starting New Year's off crazy. It's about to be a new year, new everything. The show about to be popping. And the only way I know that I can make it just official, I had to make it with a big boss. I had to bring some my uncle of uncles, you know what I'm saying? That I know when I need to lean, he gonna have my back right here. Big Uncle Gunner, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, Big Unc, man, come on, tell the people about yourself and run it down.
What's up, man? Happy New Year. I'm glad I'm here. I think what I'm going to do is lower this thing down so I can get a little more light on my face. That way I don't look so aberrational like I'm some kind of ghost. How's the light? Yeah, not too bad. So, anyways, thanks for having me. This is our second go around, so we know how it goes. New Year coming. I don't know if you know this. I mean, I don't know what you people know about me. But I guess in case you missed the first show that I did with you, I'll kind of give a quick backstory. I mean, so I did 13 years in prison for extortion, bank robbery, armed robbery, a bunch of stuff that was tied to some organized crime, Italian organized crime. You might know it as the mafia. The FBI described me as an enforcer for my family, which is the Tocco-Zarelli crime family. I've had an FBI agent in a debriefing where they talked about me. Quote was one of the things that they like was in a debriefing. It was made public, and it said they said Gunner Allen Lindbloom or Alonzo Lindbloom, what is his rank and status in the family, and the FBI agent responded, end quote, Gunner is a enforcement muscle for his family, Tocco-Zarelli crime family, a bona fide tough guy. The kind of guy that would freaking smash your head in with a crowbar for $50. That's literally what they said. So I mean, hey, maybe I was. Yeah, I know. I wasn't that bad, but they made me out to be worse than I was. I was pretty bad. I mean, the thing is, I just told a funny story about collections. I just did a show. I have a YouTube show called It's Gunner Detroit, but it's the name of the show is My Thing, Tales of a Reformed Gangster. And I just told, I just told a funny story about a guy who owed a bunch of money to a really high level mob dude. Didn't really realize that the loan he took was from a dude who was under the umbrella of a high level mob dude. And so they tasked me with finding the guy. It was only 15 grand, but they wanted the money. They no longer wanted the VIG. The VIG is the weekly payment on the loan, $250. This guy had vanished for like a month. So now he got the boss mad. He's like, find him and just get the money and I'll give you a cut. So I find the guy, I track him down through a local barbershop where everybody goes and kind of gossips. Everybody hangs out. Everybody goes to this barbershop in the hood. And it's like Vicky and Mark, these two barbers. And everybody goes there as they sit down and they tell them everything they're up to or whatever. So I went in there and I'm like, hey, man, you seen this guy, Tino Rubella? And they're like, yeah, he comes in every Saturday. Eventually I caught him in there on a Saturday and I said, hey, man, I got to talk to you. Now, at this point, we knew he was kind of a tough guy, kind of a real tough guy. And I was a little worried he might get silly with me. I had a pistol on me, but I mean, I wasn't sure. Normally I felt like I could pretty much whoop most of this guy made me nervous. And so he was cool, but he ended up giving me a score where he's like, if you go rob this freaking dope dealer's house, man, you'll get 40 grand out of it. He's like, and we'll split it or whatever. So he don't show up for the robbery like a little bitch. So I end up kicking in the door, going in there, taking all this money and guns and crap. And then I paid off his debt to the boss. And because I liked the guy, and plus I didn't want to kick up a big beef with him for keeping the money, so I ended up making like 10 grand. The moral of the story, that's the type of stuff that I did, kind of full time, was tracking people down and. What's that?
You got hold on, not to cut you off, but did y'all hear that? Uncle Gunner said, "Listen, he went and got that bread, went in there, man, made his entry and went and got that bread. And you know what? And his morals and principles, he paid it all for him. And you know, he made sure and got some money for himself. But do you see what he made sure that man was all right? Because you know what? He liked the guy. When you like somebody,
Yeah.
hey man, you're gonna do what's right, man. You see that even being a criminal, we do the right things. Come on, man.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I did that because I did like the dude. I thought he was a cool cat. I grew up with him. That was the thing. I knew him from when I was a little kid, and then we kind of parted ways. He moved, I moved, then we reconnected years later. And he was involved. He was in the game. He was kind of in the circle of guys that I knew that were heavyweights in the weed game and the steroid game, and real tough guys too. You know, and I don't say that lightly, man. I don't say tough. If I say a guy's a tough guy, best believe that dude was a kind of with these and guys are like a joke, you know. But there's a couple guys out there, real tough guys. He was one of them, you know. And the guy he rolled with was a dude that, frankly, I don't. There was maybe two guys in my life that I knew that I just would not have wanted to fight, and one of them was his roll dog named Jerry. But Jerry eventually, like, so he heard that I tried to get with his girlfriend and crap. It was a big misunderstanding, and I thought, now I got to beef with this lunatic. Now the guy's 5'7", about 260-pound kickboxer who can bench about 600 pounds. He's a huge musclehead, and I'm thinking, man, I got to fight this freaking guy because he thinks I tried to get with his girl, but I never did. I ran into him at a freaking bar. He came over and hugged me, and I said, hey, you know, this is all bullshit. And I saw your girl at a party. It was his ex-girlfriend. I said, all I did was talk about you, and he said, stop. I know. I asked her. She said, all you did is talk about me. You were very respectful. You gave her a ride home. But when people saw me leave the party with her, you know, the rumors, everybody was like, yo, Al's getting with Jerry's girl and blah, blah, blah. So I thought I had some kind of beef broke with him, but I didn't. But anyways, the guy, I helped him out, and it wasn't the first time I did that. Dude, listen, I can't tell you how many times that the boss or one of the bosses sent me to go get money. Now, here's my plan. You got to get this 3,000 or 5,000 or 10 G's out of this cat. I don't care how you get it. If you get it, you get to keep, 20% or whatever it is. Sometimes more than that. Sometimes 50%. So now I got to hunt this guy down. They call me the Bloodhound. They used to call me the Bloodhound. Get the Bloodhound on. He'll find him. So I'll track the guy down. I'll find him however I would find him. And then I'd be like, yo, man, you can't hide from these guys. They're going to kill you, man. And it's serious business. You owe this money. Maybe they were betting on a sports book or whatever. I said, the guys, you might think because the guy you're betting with is some fat old Jewish dude, right? But that fat old Jewish dude is under the umbrella of a high-level mob boss. And if you don't pay, he gets guys like me. Now I come and you got to pay. What do you got? And they're like, I don't have the money. I had a bad luck, bad string, whatever. I'm like, don't you got a boat? Yeah, I got a boat. I'm like, well, let's go sell it.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. Did you ever have to? Did you ever? Because they show in the movies, so we get a lot of stuff we get misconstrued from movies. Like, did you ever have to break somebody's legs? Did you ever have to put them in a wheelchair?
I have definitely hurt people real bad, but not a lot. But there has been a few guys. Yeah, I mean, one guy in particular who kind of disrespected me. Who was in a biker bar. I went in there. There was only him and like two dudes in there. He was hiding. Owed money, owed like $3,000 from betting, didn't want to pay. So I went in there and told him, hey man, Tony's looking for you. You got to pay. And he's like, okay, I'm going to pay. I got to go get the money from my mom or somebody, whatever it was. Meet me back here in an hour. So I come back an hour later. He's in there with 4 bikers. And they're all sitting there at the bar. It's in the hood in Detroit, too. This is in the ghetto, man. Right across the street from Harpo's. And anyone from Detroit knows Harpo's. This kind of big, like club, and they have concerts there and crap. It's in the hood, man. Bikers own that too. So I walk back in and I ignored the freaking 4 dudes with him, and I was like, yo, okay, man, you got this money. And he's like, nah, I don't got the money. I'm like, you just told me a freaking hour ago you're going to get the money. And I come back. Now you're saying you don't got the money? And then one of the biker guys kind of walks over to me, puts his hand on me, and kind of tries to push me aside. He's like, listen, he ain't paying nobody. He ain't paying you. He ain't paying nobody. So I kind of, of course, I smack his hand off me. I'm like, bro, don't touch me. I'm the wrong freaking guy. This is between me and him. He's like, well, now it's between us. I'm like, I looked at the dude. I said, so his name was Tony. I said, Tony, so this is the way it's going to be? And he kind of shrugs. I said, okay. I turn around. I walk out like a little bitch. Walked in my car, grabbed a baseball bat. I came charging in there. Like, I came charging in full just like kicked the door open and just started smashing fools. And I busted him up real bad. The dude Tony, he was on the ground, split open. His boys were freaking like hiding. Another one was busted up on the ground. I mean, I was just wailing on him with a bat, wham, wham, wham. And then one guy had a table. He's hiding behind a table, and I'm just freaking going to town, smashing the table. And the guy's like, "Call the cops." I'm like, "I'm in the hood, man. You call the cops. They ain't coming for 45 minutes. I know I got all day up in here." So,
yeah, you about to get that?
But that was one example. I did have to most of the time, bro. Here's the thing. I don't actually ever recall just saying breaking a guy's legs. I do recall cracking a couple dudes with a crowbar. I do recall cracking a couple guys with a bat, but mostly I would just punch him in the face one time, So when I let him know it's serious, I'd walk straight in and I said, "Hey man, Mickey wants his money." He'd be like, I just go, "Bam!" Just punch him in the mouth, and then I'd pull a pistol out and say, "Listen, man, I'm the nice guy here. The freaking next guy come, he ain't gonna say nothing. He's gonna pop you in the head." I said, "Get the freaking money, pay up. You owe. You can't run. You can't hide. You gotta pay." But most of the time, yeah, you gotta pay. Most of the time, I didn't have that problem. Honestly, most of the time, listen, dude, when I showed up, dude, I was like the Grim freaking Reaper, bro. On the east side of Detroit, they called me the Sandman. They called me the Sandman because I was famous for knocking guys out with one punch. And I didn't bully nobody. I didn't pick on nobody. I would always knock the guys out. The guys, the fake tough guys that are kind of big. They walk with their chest out with a skin tight shirt on. They do a little steroids, so they think they're tough guys. They're in the club, going walking around. The kind of guy who would smack his own boy in the back of the head to try and make himself look cool. Oh, yeah, dang, that guy. So I see that freaking guy in the club, and if there wasn't, say, a bunch of hotties in the club to mac on, and I tell my boys, "Yo, let's go to hit the strip club, or let's go hit another club. Let's get out of here. There ain't no hoes here." And they'd be like, "No, I just want to drink a beer and hang out for a while." I'd be like, "Man," because they're driving, so I'm stuck there. So I just like, all right, well, I'll just pick a fight with some freaking tough guy and get us kicked out. So I walk by these tough guys and kind of walk by. I was a big boy too. I mean, I was a big 240-pound muscle head myself. I walked by them, and a lot of these guys knew who I was because they had seen me other nights or at other clubs knock a guy out or beat a guy's ass, so they kind of know. But sometimes they didn't know, and I'd walk by him and maybe just bump him and spill his drink, like walk by him. And, of course, about 75% of the times the guy would be like, "Oh, whoa, my bad, big dog, my bad." And I'd be like, "Oh, sorry, bro, my bad, sorry, bro, and I'll buy you a beer, bro." Because if they were cool, I would be like, "All right, my bad."
Player shit, yeah.
They were like, yeah. But if they're like, "Hey, what's wrong with you, bro? You got a problem?" And I go, "Yeah, I got a problem." I said, "You got a problem?" "Yeah, what's up?" Bam! I just knock him out. I just freaking, bam, hit him in the jaw and just freaking put him to bed. Their boys would be like, "Damn!" And this dude just knocked our boy the F out. Our boy, who's supposed to be a tough guy, our boy's been walking around like this with his chest out, like he's some big shot, just got knocked the F out. He's sleeping. He wakes up, don't even know where he is. His boys are laughing at him. So those are the guys I did that pretty frequently on. But I got a nickname for that called Sandman. And the DJ, this famous DJ, Rubik's Cube, used to call me, or whenever I hit the club, he was a famous DJ in the hood, man. He worked all the hottest clubs. And as soon as I walk in, he'd go, because one time I was bouncing at a nightclub called Generations. We had this place just banging, bro, banging. We were doing 10,000 a night in cover charge, bringing 10,000 a night cash, just cover charge to get in. And this little club, man, we get like 500 people in there. It was banging, bro. And I was a head bouncer. So I'd skim, of course, like $300, $400, $500 a night off the cover charge, put it in my pocket.
I get paid.
Yeah. I got paid like $140 a night cash, but then, I'd work the door and just take cash out of the cover and keep like $500. The owner knew I was doing it. He didn't care because he was glad that I was running security really good. Well, the DJ, Rubik's Cube, he saw me knock out a few guys, you know what I'm saying? Just a couple. I never had a lot of trouble as a bouncer. I was always cool. If a guy punches a guy, I'd walk over and say, "Hey, man, listen, you got to leave. You punch the guy in the face, you got to go. But, come back tomorrow night, have a safe drive. Yeah, be careful. And say, come back tomorrow night, you're good to go. Just tonight you got to go." Yeah. And most of them are cool. Only like once or twice did guys get tough with me. Usually, or one time, like I remember the guys kept fighting. It was over a girl and they were fighting. And I broke them up and I'm like kind of holding them, and they're still swinging. I said, man, one of you guys hit me, I'm freaking laying you out. So calm down. If I get hit, and they're like, and bam, one clipped my chin. I was like, okay, wham, knocked his ass out, boom. And then we dragged him out, so I could slam him off the door and the wall and everything else, because he hit me, you know. But normally, but anyways, there was one time. There used to be these two bouncers that worked there. They're both named Tim and Tim. Two big, like, trailer trash white boys. Big ones, big freaking huge ones. And they didn't like me. They got fired, and the owner fired them because they didn't want to clean up after the club as closed. And like, we don't get enough money to clean up, so we're just bouncing and we don't do dick. So they hired me to put together a crew of bouncers. So I was like, cool. So the guy didn't like me. And then one time he freaking tried to start with my boy, and I intervened and I said, hey man, it's my boy. You're gonna go, you gotta go through me to get him. And he just stared at me all night like he's a tough. So the guy's girlfriend worked there, right? And she was a shot girl. This is a crazy story. This was on my, I remember. And there's a girl who worked there. She was working and got in a fight. This chick got in a fight with some other girl. And of course, you know, us bouncers kind of ran over there and broke it up. Whatever. It was one of our freaking shot girls. So at the end of the night, I'm sitting there, you know, when they play slow music, at the end of the night, the last 2-3 songs are slow music, so you can get a girl and dance with her. Right, exactly. So I got this little freaking girl that I got my eye on, been freaking eyeballing her for weeks. This really cute girl, man. And the reason I didn't even try to, you know, get with her is because she was too good for me, man. This girl was adorable. This cute little thing. She brought me to meet her mother, and she was just hot as they get. Just a cute little, tiny little Italian girl. I'm just like, I'm not going to ruin this girl. I don't want to. I'm not going to freaking be a scumbag and cheat on her. And I just never called her no more. But I was dancing with her that night. So I'm sitting there dancing with her, slow dancing, this little thing. And I see the one dude walk in, the Tim dude. He's got his boy with him, the big giant one, and then him. He comes in. He's like right there in front of the coat check. He's drinking a beer. He walked in with a beer. That's, you know, first thing I noticed. Second thing, he starts talking to his girl, and she's telling him how she got in a fight, and then he starts looking over at me. He's looking over at me. Next thing you know, I'm dancing with this girl. I'm watching this. Dog comes walking straight towards me, does a beeline toward me, walks up to me. He's taller than me and bigger than me, and puts his finger on my face and goes, "Why'd you let my girlfriend get hit, mother effer?" And he shoves my face. And I had already told this girl.
Wait, how you do it?
I told the girl, hold on. He just walked up and went,
oh no,
yeah, just shoved my. No, so yeah, he put his finger on my face. So you're right. No. So the girl, I had already saw him coming. So when he was coming, I told the little hottie, I said, hold on a second. And I pushed her aside, and he walks up. He goes, "Why'd you let my girlfriend get hit, mother effer?" And he shoves my face. And I was starting to, I turned to like fight. I said, I started to warn him. I said, "Listen, mother effer, don't ever touch me." Before I could even get it out, he pops me, man. He freaking like just swings on me, but not even hard, like a little bitch. And dude, as soon as he hits me, I mean, I'm like, listen, mother, and he just hits, bam, and I'm just like, and knock him out. One shot right to his jaw. He goes straight down, just collapses like this timber. Bam. Well, there was a rim along the edge of the dance floor, like a I don't know, like a wood railing thing that went along, and his head cracked right off the edge of that railing, and it split his head open, so there was blood everywhere. So he's knocked out, and then all these freaking cats, these tough guys from Roseville, there's a bunch of hard ass kids from Roseville. They're like white kids that are lower class. They're always fighting. They're always in drama. They all sell dope. They're just bad kids generally. They knew me because the owner of the club was a Roseville kid. So they all come running over like, "What's up, Bill, man? What's up?" I'm like, "No, we're good. We're good." Dude's knocked out. And then all of a sudden, the big dude, the brother, was supposedly his brother, picks me up in a bear hug from behind. Bam, grabs me. He's strong. The dude was like 6'4", about 350. So he was a big dude. I'll tell you how I ended up punking his ass out too. He grabs me in a bear hug, and I don't know who it is. And I can't get out. And I'm pretty strong, and I'm struggling. He picks me up and carries me in the kitchen. Now I got this little freaking like swarm of Roseville cats, like all running up, going, "Let him go, let him go." I don't know what's going on. So he lets me go, and these cats are going, "You want to get him? You want to get him?" And I'm like, no. I turn around to the dude. I said, "Bro, what's up with your boy?" He comes in here, sucker punches me, and freaking, over his girlfriend getting a fight. And he's like, I said, "Here's the deal, bro. Go tell your boy, peel him off the floor. Tell him I'll go outside and finish this shit. We'll finish it outside. I'll whoop his ass one-on-one." And he's like, "Okay, I'll tell him." So the dude freaking walks out of there. And all these Roseville cats are like, let's jump him. I'm like, nah, man, let's not jump him. I said, I don't whoop this kid's ass for one-on-one. So they go out there. He goes out there. Yeah, he comes back in and he says, nah, man, he's done, man. He's got to go to the hospital. I'm like, you don't want to finish? He's like, nah, man, he's got his head split wide open. He don't even know where he is, bro. He can barely walk. I'm like, because I'll whoop that dude's ass. So they carry him away. So then fast forward a couple years, and I'm working at this home improvement company where I was making a lot of freaking money. I'd work like 4 hours a day, go on a couple of appointments, and make like $100,000 a year. It was great because I could be in the streets all day. And I'd run around, I'd pick up money, collect money, sell dope, do whatever, collection, and just go to these like 2 appointments a day, sell a home improvement, make $500, $600 a day. It was a great gig. So one of the installers was this dude, Tim, the big dude, right? So I did a side job. Kind of on the low, man. There was this Pakistani dude, and I told him the price to do siding on his house was $10,000. He's like, I'm never gonna pay $10,000. He's like, my budget is like $5,000, and I knew I could do it on the side for like $5-6 grand and make a couple. Our price for the company I work for was way inflated. It was just too much. So I said, I'll do it on the side, bro. I'll have somebody install it, do whatever you want for $6,000 or whatever. He said, okay. I ended up doing a kitchen for the guy too, and making like $5,000 on that. So I contract the freaking fat dude, Tim. He's one of the installers. I see him at the company all the time. He was in the back, and the installers would all hang out in the back. And I say, hey man, you want to make a side money? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, what do you need? He's like, well, give me a deposit for the materials that I'm gonna need. I'm like, all right, well, how much? He's like, give me $800. So I give him $800. Now, the freaking guy, I give him the $800, and the customer's calling me in a week or two going, like, when you starting? And I call the guy, and I'm like, yo, when you start? He's like, I'm starting tomorrow. And then call him next day, he ain't started. He spun me for like 2 weeks, right? So now I'm a Pakistani freaking.
He did that? Hell
yeah,
no.
this Pakistani guy's getting mad. I think he was mad because one of the reasons was because he had these cute daughters, and when I was there I contracted a guy to do the kitchen.
They was on you.
I was flitting on, huh?
They was on you.
They were hanging out by me. I was in a suit and tie and like flirting. They were only a couple years younger than me, so I was flirting with them. I said, "Hey, Tony," his name is Tony. I'm like, when are you gonna hook me up with freaking one of your daughters, man? And he just looked beat red and face got mad. And they were right there when I said it too. They were cute as hell. All of them were real pretty.
They went with that.
But anyways,
they died. They're gonna hit you with some of that.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So he got mad at me, man. This is a crazy ass story. I had to tell this story on my YouTube channel. The freaking guy, at one point, I go there, he gets mad. He's like, listen, I want my freaking money back for this siding. You're not doing a job. I said, listen, I got a guy, he's been busy, he's gonna do it. And this is what he says to me. He says, you don't want to mess with me. I'm Indian gangster. An Indian gangster. You don't mess with me, Indian gangster. He don't know nothing about me. He starts telling me he's got a baseball bat. I'm in his driveway. He's like, you're going to pay me. He's like, you don't mess with me. I'm Indian gangster. I'm just like, okay, Tony. He don't know nothing about me. So eventually, after this whole other episode plays out, I put a mask on and I walked into his 7-Eleven. He's got a gas station, which is a 7-Eleven, like a convenience store / gas station. I walked in there with a freaking 2-liter of gasoline and and a baseball bat. And I said, hey, where's Tony, the Indian gangster? And I poured the gas on the counter and pulled the lighter out. But it was some woman was working there. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to show you how American gangsters do it. But I didn't do it. I didn't like it. But I did take the bat, smash up. No, I didn't do it. I scared the hell. She's, no, please, no. She like ran out of the store. I poured gas everywhere, acted like I was going to light it, but I didn't. But I did smash up a bunch of Hostess racks with a baseball bat. And I said, tell the Indian gangster that this is how American gangsters do it. But what happened with the dude, though?
Hell.
Yeah, exactly. Learn him a lesson. So the dude, though, here's what happens. The Pakistani dude freaking ends up calling my boss and saying, your freaking employee did a side job, which is freaking forbidden. He did a side job. I gave money to do it. He gave me the money to do it, and I didn't do it. So he tells my boss, this guy named Brian, he's a baller worth millions and millions of dollars, but he likes me because I'm a really good sales rep and I make him a ton of freaking money. Like I sold, I think my first year there, 1.7 million in sales, and my pay on that was like 120 grand. So he made a ton of money off me. But anyways, he calls my boss. So my boss calls me in, right? I don't know what's going on. I says, Al, come up here. I got to talk. He did that a lot. He says, listen, what's up with this Pakistani dude? You did a side deal? I said, man, this mother effer. I said, Brian, he wasn't going to pay our 10 grand to get the job. We weren't going to get the job. He was going to go somewhere else, but he wasn't going to get it for you for $10,000. He's like, that ain't for you to decide. We have rehash guys to go back out and drop the price. I'm like, dude, we were 5 grand over his price range. It wasn't going to happen. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll get one of these guys to do it on the side. First time I ever did it, and it was. He said, well, this is what Brian says. He's like, well, I'm going to freaking back charge you $5,000 for that. So he docked my pay 5 grand. He just right off the rip just said, that mistake you just made cost you 5,000. Which I'm like, all right, well, whatever. I had that coming. He's like, well, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, this mother effing Tim, I gave him the money to start the job. He never started the freaking job. I said, I'm going to beat this big mother effer's ass. And Brian, who knew I was a tough guy, he was like, you think you can beat that dude's ass? He's a big boy. The dude is like 350, like 6'4", 350.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, I'll smash that bitch, man. And he's a punk. I smashed his boy one. He didn't know that. So I smashed his boy one. So he says, I said, call him up. Get him in here. I'll punk that mother effer out right now and forget that money. He owes me $800 for that job.